Happy Sagittarius new moon. This new moon is blossoming tonight in Eastern time zone on December 1st, 1:21 a.m. right after the midnight. So on different at different in different time zone it can be happening on November 30th at the evening time. But this Sagittarius new moon, I feel like it holds an essence that carries into 2025 because this new moon happens at 9 degrees of Sagittarius, and 9 degrees is the energy, the number, numerological number of next year, 2025. 2025 equals to 9. So we are heading into the year of 9. 9 is a mystic number of completion. It is a very spiritual number. It's ruled by energy of Mars too. So it's the completion, it's the change. And next year is going to be the year of snake, and it's the shattering of the old skin energy. Transformation theme will continue as well as it started this year. But next year in 2025, all the planets will move into a new sign. It already started with the Pluto's ingress into Aquarius on November 19th and November 20th. But this energy of the 9 being activated under this new moon, as well as this new moon aligns with Mars, and this Mars is slowing down to go into the retrograde journey starting next week on December 6th. And Mars will be in retrograde as we ingress into a new year, right? Because this retrograde journey continues on until early next year. And then another theme about this North Node. North Node is right now at 4 degrees of Aries. So they are creating a beautiful, mystic fire triangle, grand trine of fire energy. So there is very strong fire spirit, right? Fire is the energy of a spirit. It's the inspiration. It's the aspiration. It's the ascension. It's the igniting force that rises upward. It is the energy of imagination, right? The higher vision. And because Sagittarius is the truth seeker, the seeker of higher truth, it is the wisdom holder. And this new moon opposes Jupiter also. And there is a very strong energy. Jupiter is opposing Mercury, which is in retrograde, right? But this is the Sagittarius. All those Sagittarius energy is being opposed by Jupiter. And so this is the big conversation happening, right? Yes, Mercury prefers to be in Gemini and Jupiter prefers to be in Sagittarius, but there is a mutual reception happening, mutual kind of they see each other, even though Mercury is in detriment in Sagittarius and then Jupiter is in detriment in Gemini. They are seeing each other, meaning they can communicate with each other. So this is the energy, even though maybe Mercury does not really clearly see the clear path ahead, right? Those steps that has to be accomplished into achieving the greater goals, greater achievement. Maybe that path is not so clear. Maybe because of this Mercury strong, Mercury is going through a very strong, mutable, cross, T square energy, right? T square, the Jupiter and Mercury and Saturn are talking in a T square throughout this Mercury journey. And Saturn Jupiter square is one of the theme of this year, but they're gonna be in perfect square around the Christmas time next month. And there's a lot of energy, unclear energy, ambiguous, murky, sluggish, muddy energy that we are moving through. Things are not clear, and then we don't have all the answers yet, but it will be cleared up in weeks and months to come. So, right now is the time for us to focus on keeping our vision focused on that ideal next level future vision, right? We may not see it clear because of the dense fog that's casted in front of us, but this is the moment that we gotta keep that fire burning inside of us, the fire of passion, devotion, right? It's kind of like holding a devotion to our own self, to be the master of our own higher self, the master, right? Because Saturn is playing a big role being in squared with this new moon and the Saturn talking to Jupiter. This is the self mastery theme. Saturn, in the last lunation, Saturn was still in retrograde, but now Saturn is moving forward. Saturn has been clearing so much. It is trying to clear the fog. It's trying to clear the uncertainty. It has been clearing our subconscious realm, Saturn in Pisces, right? It's trying to clear the mud, the mugginess, the confusion, and yet it's still there. But this is the moment that the only thing that we have to commit to is that sense of true sense of self mastery. As long as we are keeping our focus on that rather than, oh, I want to manifest this, or I want to get here, or I want this, right? Externally kind of focused attention that we can keep trapping ourselves with. The external realm is can be just a very strong distraction. The only thing that matters is that kind of self mastery and finding clarity within us. What is my love? What is my passion? What is that I want really? I mean, self-mastery may not resonate with you, and that's totally fine also with you. But to me, self-mastery ripples out to master everything in life, right? Self-mastery means mastery of our own thinking mind, our thought thinking patterns. Self mastery is about us choosing how to respond to things rather than emotionally reacting to every single thing that comes into our own field, right? So the more that we can master those things, then we can master our life and be the co-creators of our own reality with the universe, with the God, the creator within. Now, change is here though under this new moon. This is like, yes, even though we are under this Mercury retrograde and we are going back and forth, and the energy is, oh, this onset of this Mercury retrograde was so dense, right? We felt that of this Mercury going direct. I feel like a lot of people have felt that. But under this new moon, this is the time to connect to that Sag energy, right? Sagittarius energy, Sag, the archer, seeker of that higher truth, right? It's the centaur. It's always aiming high into the dot, into the heavenly realm of that truth. It's the energy of exploration. It's the energy of expansion. Everything about expansiveness, right? Whether it is about expanding our mind, seeking for that higher wisdom, or like widening of the horizon, exploring new perceptions, new ways of thinking, new ways of believing, new ways of seeing our true ourselves even. This is the great time right before this new moon. If you are watching it before the new moon, this is the time that we want to reset, releasing completely of the past stories, everything that we remember in our mind, even those, memories of the past, our family settings, our names, our identities. I am like this, I am like that. This, right? All the labeling that we associate ourselves with. This is a time to reset. Forget our name, forget who we think we are, forget all the things that we love, we dislike, and all the ideas about ourselves and about the world. Everything, take a moment to reset. I say this in Shavasana, in a corpse pose, in my yoga classes often, but just really go through the death moment, total disassociation, disengaging, disconnect, detach from all those things that we associate ourselves with so that we can tap into the infinite possibilities. That is our truth, right? We are not limited to this body, to this name, to these ideas and identities that we hold about ourselves. Again, I just recently spoke about this claiming the new identity theme, but this Sagittarius new moon is the energy. That talk is the cosmic radio thing that I recently put up on YouTube. But this is the time that we want to take risks, even, right? Sagittarius is the energy of taking risks in a way. And especially because this new moon is talking with the fiery Leo Mars, even though Mars is slowing down and it is not a comfortable position for Mars to be. Mars wants to move fast and act and direct the energy forward, forward, forward. But Mars is slowing down, slow, slow, slow. Mars only go up to the 6 degrees of Leo, and then it moves back toward that 17 degrees of Cancer. So there's this energy. Mars is going retrograde. Mars is rewinding something. But that directional motion of Mars can be the metaphorical energy field that we can tap into to rewind our identity. Mars can represent our identity, right? So it's the rewinding, restoring, reprogramming, right? Realigning back to our true, authentic identity, the pure nature, the essence of who we are, which is the zero field, which is the enormously open, wildly wide open field, as big as the cosmic void of eternity that is us. When we tap into the endless cosmic field of spaciousness, how we rewrite our life is all up to us. And if we want to continue, if we do not want to continue manifesting the same old patterns of reality, we got to kind of abruptly, radically shift our energy field, shift the way that we are experiencing and feeling and thinking and all of that to shift the timeline, to shift our life into a different parallel reality, which is lighter, which is brighter, which is easier, which is happier, right? Filled with more joy and then all of that. And this new moon holds a potential. The Mars, right? The sun and moon at 9 degrees, talking with the Mars, talking with the North Node. This is another thing that we want to be mindful of. The Aries, we are almost done with the North Node in Aries realm. The North Node will shift into Pisces on November 12th, 2025, next year. On November 12th, the North Node will shift into that 29 degrees of Pisces. But the most important phase is when the North Node hits the 0 degrees Aries point. 0 degrees Aries point is the point, most important point within the zodiac wheel. When the sun hits the 0 degrees point of Aries, that's the spring equinox, that's the rebirthing point. And the North Node beautifully, poetically moves into 0 degrees of Aries on December 31st at the end point of 2024 this year. And from that December 31st up to that January 12th, it's gonna move through that 0 degrees Aries point. That North Node at 0 degrees of Aries holds this potential to rewrite who we are, reclaiming, realigning, resetting back to who we truly are for our ascension, for our evolution, and all of that. And this new moon, even though it's a kind of a wide orb, this Neptune is sitting with the North Node. There's about what, four is like, yeah, it's a wide orb, but Neptune is with North Node. This Neptune is speaking with Uranus. Uranus at 24 degrees of Taurus in sextile with Neptune. And this energy of Neptune Pisces is also in sextile with Venus in Capricorn, which is with Ceres, asteroid of nourishment, self-nourishment, self-care, and self-love, and how we nourish ourselves. This is like metaphorically, we're coming back to that self-love, speaking with this Neptune, speaking with this Uranus. It is a wide orb, but poetically, it is speaking with the South Node. This is kind of a kite formation. I know this is such a mess, but formation, poetically, I receive the message in order for us to really quantum leap into that new field, new reality. The North Node wants to take us into the new reality. Neptune is reminding us, even though this Neptune is very foggy too, because as Mars go into the retrograde journey, Neptune is slowing down even more to go direct with Mars on the same day. It's shifting its gears to come out of the retrograde into the direct motion. But this Neptune slow, so it's foggy. It is deceptive a little bit, right? It's the fogginess, that unclarity, yet it is making that boundary line between realms thin also. Under the fog, the if you're looking out into the lake, and then if there is a fog, you cannot really see where the boundary line between the horizon point and the sky is. It's like the foggy lake that you cannot see where the the boundary line between the lake and the sky. That kind of energy is present with us. The old world into the new world, old self into the new self. There is like the mixing energy is present with us. It's a mixture of all the heaviness and like it feels old condition feels heavy and real, but at the same time there is such a expansive new energy coming in, new visions coming in, new imagination coming in, new messages coming into our field so much to the point that we are ready to really aim our bow and arrow. Kite formation is like a bow and arrow to me, right? Sagittarius energy, bow and arrow. We got to keep aiming that north node point. And in order for us to aim that north node point, we got to release the south node point. South node in Libra, old relationship patterns, old associations, old like nature of us comparing ourselves with others, or the norm, the societal norm, societal conditions, the people, it's the Libra archetype is always about comparing, right? Comparison. It's the justice and the scale of balance. That's the lower archetype of Libra. Higher archetype of Libra is a true messenger between the seen and the unseen realms of reality. True bridge between the seeable and unseeable, the dark and the light, the life, the death, the between realms. The Libra is the threshold that connects them together as one. But that north node, the south node realm that we've been, right, the past year and a half, as the south node traveled through Libra, we've been releasing old relationships, old relationship patterns, old value system. Not only about relationship, right? Libra is all about our value system. How are we valuing our own selves? How are like revaluing our true worth, right? And so that this is the final point that we are releasing all the doubts, all the insecurities, all the fear, all the ideas of impossible, right? Whatever. There is no such a thing as impossible as long as we belong to this miraculous field of the cosmic field. There is nothing impossible that exists in this field. And I feel like this is the new moon that is reminding us that the change is here. And we are coming back to be the archer of the seeker of that higher truth. And we are dreaming big, thinking big, think the impossible, because we are here to bring in the impossible possible, create the impossible possible, right? We are on such a moment of change, of era, change of field, change is happening in this cosmic realm, not only the earthly realm. Everything is shifting so much, quantum leap, so much is happening. And whatever situations that brings up resistance and any kind of an energy that is that is keeping us trapped in the old toxic, familiar patterns, we are choosing to move away and walk away from that, because you know the timeline is shifting and we gotta choose to sacrifice, to leave that aspect of self behind if we want to commit to this evolutionary ascension that we are moving through. Yes, so keep aiming high. May we keep aiming high and keep seeing, keep whatever your vision is, just hold on to that vision and ignore all the rest, ignore all the doubts, ignore all the uncertainty, ignore them all, because those are just created by our human brain. Human brain cannot understand everything, right? The understand everything, meaning human, for the human brain, we cannot really grasp onto that concept of magic or concept of miracles, because our brain is stuck in that three-dimensional reality. We don't need to know how to get there. We don't need to know how we are gonna make that manifest. Brain, our brain cannot work on that structural level, but our higher consciousness knows how to make that happen, because our consciousness just knows. And there is no reason that has to be understood by our brain needed. Our analytical understanding can become a block to make that creation possible. So release those logical mind, analytical mind. Just truly trust our godly higher level consciousness to keep dreaming big, keep tapping into that higher frequency vibration within us, keep aiming toward the North Node energy, right? The North Node is with Chiron. Chiron is with Aries. This is the goddess warrior archetype. We are returning back to that warrior of light, warrior also of peace, the beacon of light, the beacon of that love, unconditional love, absolute. And we are going to keep being that, becoming that, to spread more of that, right? And yes, let us quantum shift into that new reality together under this powerful Sag new moon. Yes. Thank you so much for listening. Peace, peace, peace.